The audience that you are targeting, my assumption is that you're targeting an audience that is already invested, already interested, has a whole childhood filled with Disney everything, right? Like you're targeting Disney adults who used to watch the Disney original movies.
Scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures.
You know, I honestly did my best to give Disney the benefit of the doubt when they cast a Hispanic woman as Snow White. Snow White.
Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot have turned Snow White into an absolute disaster. Their personal feud is overshadowing the movie, and Rachel's PR missteps have even Disney's biggest fans ready to boycott. So, let's break it all down. Reports suggest that things have been messy behind the scenes of Disney's Snow White, all thanks to the tension between its two leading stars, Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot. Gal plays the evil queen, while Rachel takes on the role of Snow White. But it looks like their on-screen rivalry has bled into real life, making things a nightmare for Disney. Multiple sources, including People, claim that the two actresses have nothing in common. Their massive age gap and clashing political views, especially regarding the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, have made things awkward. Both have publicly supported opposite sides of the issue, and branding experts are already warning that this controversy could lead to a boycott. An insider even spilled that Gal is over the drama. She enjoyed filming, had no major issues with Rachel, but they were never friends. They worked well together on set, and that's about it. But the problems seem to go far beyond just politics. When Rachel Zegler was first cast as Snow White, backlash immediately followed. Just like what happened with the Little Mermaid remake. Some fans weren't happy about a black mermaid, and now, a Latina Snow White? The outrage felt familiar, but let's be real, that criticism was ridiculous. In a now-deleted social media post, Rachel responded saying, "Yes, I am Snow White. No, I'm not bleaching my skin for the role. At first, I tried to give Disney the benefit of the doubt. Maybe, just maybe, Rachel was cast because she was the best choice. Maybe they genuinely believed she was the perfect Snow White." But then, Rachel took things a step further. Instead of embracing the classic Snow White story, she started rewriting it. Gone was the princess saved by true love's kiss. Instead, she pushed a feminist manifesto, claiming that Snow White didn't need a prince and could save herself. That's when it became clear. Disney wasn't just reimagining a fairy tale, they were rewriting it beyond recognition, and people weren't having it. Tucker Carlson even pointed out how Rachel dug herself into a hole by openly mocking the absence of a prince. One fan summed up the frustration perfectly. At this point, why not just make a new character instead of changing everything? Rachel only made things worse when she called the original story weird and dismissed the prince entirely. And let's just say, Disney fans did not take that lightly. Then came the real controversy, when Rachel Zegler labeled Snow White's prince as nothing more than a stalker. During an interview, Rachel doubled down on her modernized version of the story, saying, "She's not going to be saved by a prince. She's not dreaming about true love. I mean, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and you can really tell. There was a big focus on her love story, with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah, weird. Super weird. So we didn't do that this time." And just like that, the backlash exploded. Fans accused Disney of making Snow White go woke, completely stripping away the heart of the original fairy tale. Rachel tried to clarify, saying the film would take a different approach to romance. But by then, the damage was done. But the real drama? The feud between Rachel and Gal hit a boiling point when they started promoting the movie separately. Rachel showed up alone at a private premiere in Spain, while Gal was by herself doing press at Disneyland in California. And when they did appear at the LA screening, they looked awkward. No friendly interactions, no joint interviews, just group photos with zero chemistry. At this point, it's not just the movie that's crumbling, it's the entire promotional tour. And honestly, Disney's got a major problem on its hands. Now, we all remember the chaos surrounding The Little Mermaid's Halle Bailey, the backlash, the outrage, all because she was a black woman playing Ariel. And now, Rachel Zegler is comparing the criticism of Snow White to the same thing. An article summed it up perfectly. There's new backlash this weekend. All thanks to resurfaced comments Rachel made back in September while promoting the film with Gal Gadot. Now, the interview might be old, but the internet never forgets. Rachel casually admitted she only watched the original Snow White once as a kid and didn't like it. She thought it was too scary and never watched it again, at least until she was cast. So, let's get this straight. She's starring in a remake of a movie she openly admitted she didn't care for? Yeah, not a great look, and Disney fans are not letting it slide. Now here's where things really took a turn. Rachel's attitude toward the original Snow White, basically bashing it, didn't just upset conservative fans. Even everyday Disney lovers, including plenty of women, are rolling their eyes at her take. And honestly, can you blame them? Just listen to what this critic had to say about Rachel's whole approach to promoting the film. "I'm scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once, and then I never picked it up again. I'm being so serious. I watched it once, then went on the ride at Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. That doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. I was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. So I watched it for the first time in probably 16, 17 years when I was doing this." Okay, but if you hated the original, why are you starring in the remake? And that's exactly what's frustrating Disney fans. The audience for these remakes? It's Disney lovers. People who grew up with these classics, who have a childhood filled with Disney memories. And yet, Disney keeps doing everything possible to push those lifelong fans away. So the real question is, if these movies aren't made for the actual Disney audience, who exactly are they made for? Rachel Zegler was cast as Snow White, but instead of celebrating the role, she's trashed the original movie in almost every interview. It's gotten so bad that even Gal Gadot had to step in mid-conversation, almost like she was coaching Rachel to stop ruining the film. One comment says it best. "Wonder how Rachel feels about being the most disliked actress in the world, even over Amber Heard." Another adds, "She single-handedly killed this film." And honestly, the backlash makes sense. This remake only exists because the original was a beloved Disney classic. But instead of respecting that, Rachel and the team behind this movie seem to have nothing but contempt for the story that made it all possible. And that's why people are done with this film before it even hits theaters. Rachel Zegler seems more focused on fixing what she calls a garbage property than honoring Snow White's legacy. Instead of celebrating the role, she's rewriting the character into some forced girl boss narrative, like this isn't already a beloved Disney classic. She keeps saying, "Snow White isn't dreaming about a man, she's dreaming about being a leader." What? Since when did Snow White need a political agenda to be a strong character? Meanwhile, actresses like Iman Vellani, Ms. Marvel, and Halle Bailey, the Little Mermaid, have embraced their roles with actual respect and enthusiasm. And let's talk about the Seven Dwarfs, or lack thereof. Disney CGI'd them out and replaced them with magical creatures, completely erasing the representation of little people actors who could have played these iconic roles. One actor even pointed out, "So, they got rid of the dwarfs, but kept one token? This entire project feels out of touch, and audiences are not buying it." By erasing the Seven Dwarfs, Disney has managed to upset the very community it claims to be protecting. The decision was reportedly influenced by Peter Dinklage, who called the original portrayal offensive, but many little people actors disagree. As one pointed out, there is power in representation. If the story is the problem, change the story. Don't erase the characters. The backlash started when promo images showed one little person alongside 6 average height actors of varied race, gender, and stature, which just felt like a forced PR move. Now, Rachel Zegler is trying to clean up the damage, sharing an apology online, saying she let emotions get the best of her. At this point, does it even matter? Disney seems more focused on rewriting history than telling a good story. But what do you think? Will you watch this movie? Or has Disney officially lost touch? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you love breaking down Hollywood drama and entertainment news, subscribe to Insider US for more deep dives. Hit that like button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update.